Hey YouTubers, this is Bob Hickman. It is so good to be back with you. Well, I want to say first of all, thank you to all of you who came out to my recent video on the book review for Scott Cunningham's book, Living Wicca, A Further Guide for the Solitary Practitioner. You guys are really great. I so enjoy your feedback. I am still having trouble responding to comments, so don't worry. I am reading them, and I do appreciate the thumbs up, the likes, the favorites, and the comments. So thank you. Thanks for your wonderful support. If you haven't read that book, check it out. This is the book, and do check out the video. It's the one right before this one. You'll learn more about this wonderful book, Scott Cunningham, one of my favorite authors. Anyways, I want to come here today. I know I told you we're going to talk about the reptilians, but I think I'm going to save that for a little later this week. I want to talk today about a very serious astrological and astronomical event. Today at 4:30 Eastern U.S. time, there was a total eclipse of the moon, and it created an effect of what is called a blood moon. The moon literally turned blood red. I was not up to see it. I was actually sleeping, so I didn't get to film it. Plus, we had cloud cover here, so I don't think I would have seen it anyways. But I have been following this, and you know, a few weeks ago when I did my horoscopes, I mentioned this it's in the Witch's Spell a Day Almanac, and I was looking here again today at the astrological alignments, and during the time of the eclipse, the moon was in Libra. Now, from an astrological point, for me, this is very interesting and could have great significance. I'm not normally one to go with doom and gloom prophecies. I think you guys know that. I don't come here and try to scare you guys. But I do want to be honest about this. I feel that this eclipse, particularly with its timing and the zodiac signs that it was in, foreshadows some things coming to the earth. You know, this the sign of Libra generally indicates friendship, cooperation. It's a very friendly sign. And I feel that the blood moon occurring during that sign could very well foreshadow ruptures in friendships on a global scale. This may foreshadow a coming conflict of a larger scale nature, a war that could impact large sections of the world. I'm not saying all-out World War III, but there could be something coming. I've been feeling this for a while, but now that I'm looking at it astrologically, I really think this blood moon is something we should pay attention to. Doesn't mean we go running and screaming into the night terror, pulling our hair out and acting insane, but it means to be vigilant. You know, one of the things about being a Wiccan is Wicca means to be wise. And wise people study the signs and understand the messages from the signs. And I do believe in astrology because, you know, it can be seen that it is very consistent over time. I haven't read what the other astrologers are saying about this. I'm doing this just for my personal research. And I'm telling you, as a psychic and as somebody who studies this, I feel that the timing and the moon sign is very significant. And I feel like a blood moon in Libra represents ruptures of friendship and could herald a coming war. Who's going to fight? I don't know. But I'll tell you, if we look at the world, it's getting very tense. North Korea is making threats. Russia and America are now kind of going head-to-head. We've got China stepping in, making threats. There's a lot of tension, and I feel like the blood moon is a warning. Be ready, something's coming. Some people say that the blood moon foreshadows an economic collapse in the United States and the beginning of martial law. I have not yet seen that. I'm not really convinced of that at this time, but I do feel this could represent conflict of an international scale and possibly something quite shocking. In 1967, there was a blood moon, and it heralded the Six-Day War. It foreshadowed the Six-Day War in Israel, which was a very intense and dramatic situation. And I think that in the coming year, we're going to see something like that again. Not trying to be doom and gloom. I'm just trying to be honest. I really think we have to pay attention to this. So, anyways, it's interesting because the moon was at the time of the eclipse in Libra. Then today at 12:20 p.m. Eastern U.S. time, the moon moved into Scorpio. Now, I think that's also very significant because the moon moving into Scorpio, Scorpio can be a mystical sign, a hidden sign, and what that could indicate is that there are things going on beneath the surface, hidden agendas that are soon going to be made manifest. And I think with the combination of Libra's blood moon and now Scorpio rising, I just think we need to watch out, okay? Now, so we say, well, Bob, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Well, this is what I always say, and it's true. We may not be able to change all the world's behaviors, but we can start with ourselves. We can choose to raise our vibration, to operate not from a place of terror and fear, but from a place of wisdom, groundedness, centeredness, and self-control. And we do that through our daily prayer and meditation. This is why, I was touting this book, Living Wicca, so much, because it really talks about daily prayer. And I think that we spiritual people, whether you're Wiccan, Christian, Hindu, Muslim, Buddhist, I don't care what faith you are, pagan, doesn't matter. All of us believe in a higher power, and we believe in prayer. And I think with the signs showing as they are, we should take that as a time to go within, connect to our higher selves, connect to our higher source, however you call that. And let's ask for blessings for the earth. Let's ask for calmness across the earth. Let's ask for end to tension and violence. And let's help be the peace we want to see. I read an article recently that was very disturbing, and it said, children born since 9/11, which is, oh my God, how many years ago is that now? 13 years? It's hard to believe. But they're teenagers now. Children that were born around the time of 9/11 are now teenagers. And they said, this generation from 9/11 have never known what it's like for us not to be at war. They grew up in war, and we're still at war. And I think that sets a very scary and negative tone. And even for the kids to say, well, I'm not involved in that, doesn't matter. That energy of violence that is going throughout the earth, which is very prevalent, those of you who remember 9/11 remember kind of what that set off. I think we've set a climate for fear. And when we see the astrological alignments showing that there's fear and disruption coming to the earth, or at least indicating it looks like that, I also think that we are not necessarily having to look at everything as fated, written in the stars, can't be changed. Because I believe that the signs are opportunities for us to awaken and bring transformation. I like to say that, the stars do not compel. The stars inspire, but they do not compel. So we are not under the control of the blood moon. We are not under the control of the Scorpio rising moon. These are energies that are present. And how much we participate in that is connected to our own consciousness. So I invite you to look at the signs. And if you, like me, say, wow, this looks kind of dicey, kind of chancy, kind of sketchy, then that's a sign we need to be part of the solution. Because if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. And I don't want anybody here at Spiritchannel to be part of the problem. Heavens no. Okay? So we're not going to be part of the problem. But we will be part of the solution. So I'd like us all just to take a minute. I want you just to sit down here with me. And if you can, let's just close our eyes for a minute. And I want you to go within yourself. Just follow your breathing. And I want you to draw your attention now to the middle of your chest area. And in this area, I want you to see a little spark of white light. And I want you to let that spark of light get brighter. Let it become a glowing cloud of light that fills the chest. Let it rise up into the shoulders, up into the neck, up into the head. And as that light begins to fill you, let it release now all tension and all anxiety. And let that light bring in peace, balance, and healing. Let that light cascade down each arm now. It's like waterfalls of light moving down to the hands and fingers. Let that light continue to work its magic as it flows down through your shoulder blades, down through your chest. Let it move down to your lower back and down around to the stomach. See and feel this light as it flows down to the hips, down to the thighs, down to the knees. Let that beautiful glowing light just move through you and let it bring in peace, balance, and healing. Let it flow down to the shins and calves, down to the ankles, and all the way down to the feet and toes. Now, as you look within, keeping your eyes closed, I want you to stay within and see and feel that light. In this light, there is no fear. There is only peace, love, joy, and acceptance. This light is your connection to your higher self and your connection to your higher source. Now I'm going to be silent for just a moment. And during this silence, let's just keep our eyes closed. Let's all together focus on the light within. So now I'll be silent just for a moment while we do this. Very good. Now, let's take our time. Let's slowly come back. Let's move our feet a little bit. Move the hands and fingers. Take some deep breaths. Get the lungs going. Move your head. And when you're ready, you can come on back. And when you return, you're going to be alert, be refreshed, and hopefully be feeling good. You guys with me? Well, I hope you joined in on that meditation. You know, when we raise the light, we raise our consciousness. And when we do this together, we send out light to the world. So I'm going to invite you, if you start to feel anxious during this next few months with all this interesting astrological changes happening, go within, find that light. Breathe it, be it, become it, and send it out to bless the world. We'll raise the vibration. And who knows, maybe we can at least stave off a little bit of hostility or violence. And if nothing else, we put ourselves in a place of peace, and that's a beginning. Guys, I am so glad you're here. Thanks for joining me for that. And we'll be watching. I'm going to keep an eye on the astrological movements over the next few months. We're going to revisit this. Anyway, so be back here on Thursday. We're going to talk about the reptilians, okay? So we'll make sure to cover that. So glad you're here. Blessings to you all.